Hello everyone, welcome. It's Connie-Rae. Welcome to today's tutorial, which is these gorgeous little note cards that I have done, Christmas little tags for Christmas presents. It's a set of 6. You can make as many as you want. You can have more than 6, you can have 2. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. But I just thought I'd show you the tutorial on how I actually made these. They're really nice, really cute. And I'm using the new, let me just bring it up and see if you can see the stitched element on the side. Oh, hang on, let me get in focus. Why does it never want to focus when I want to show you something? It doesn't like me, this camera. Hang on. Maybe I'm too close. Oh, there we go. See the stitching around the side? And that is incorporating the new dies from Stampin' Up, which is the Stitch from the Heart. They've released these early. There are squares, ovals, and circles, and they are in sets of 4. They're new. They're $50 for a set, and they've stitched, so that's really good. I love them. I've always used the stitch whenever I could, but yeah, anyway, they make your projects just look that little bit better, and the finishing touches on those projects look a little bit nicer. So I'll show you how I've used the circle ones in this particular tutorial, making these little Christmas note cards. So what I've got here is, I'll show you, these are the circles. So that's the largest one. Let me just bring that in focus. That's the largest one, second largest one, third largest one, and the fourth largest one. Sorry, the fourth size one. So that's your largest. And they all nest in together, of course. Now, for the sake of my tutorials, I often do this. I write my numbers on the stitch, on the actual dies, because they don't actually have names on them. They don't have 1, 2, and 3. So in this instance, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. 4 being the smallest and number 1 being the largest. So for today's tutorial, though, we will be using number, I think it's number 2. Yes, it's number 2. Yes, number 2 and number 4. And I'll pop these back. So basically, what I have created using this card is we have used the, I'll just go back to the beginning, using the Merriest Wishes. Yes, using the Merriest Wishes. This stamp set, and also the dies that come with it, which are these ones. And I have used the die set that you can get with it, that you can bundle up with it. What have I done with it? Oh, there it is. I've already got it out. So organised, I've out-organised myself. Okay, so it's using the Merriest Wishes stamp set and the dies. We're using this particular one here, which is here. And we're using this little die here, the Thinlet die that's got the little Christmas trees and the reindeer. So those are the ones that we'll be using in the stamp set, in the creation of the stamp set. And these are the things that we'll be making today. These are the parts of it anyway. So we've got our note card, we've got our cutouts, we've got our glitter paper, and you're going to need, let me go through your supplies that you'll need. So you'll need some white cardstock, you'll need some black cardstock, you need some silver glitter paper, and more white cardstock and more white cardstock. Okay, you need a piece of designer series paper. I've used this one out of the Floral Bouquet collection of designer series paper, designer series paper, and it's a floral bouquet that I've used. I've also used this, this is another stitch one. This is not from Stampin' Up, this is from Lawn Fawn, and I have the set of the Lawn Fawn rectangle stitched dies, and I've actually used this to cut out this particular piece here. And again, it just gives you that stitch look. Not that you can see it as much, but it is there, and it's just easier to cut it using one of these than it is to try and get the measurements and the shapes and all that. So that's what I've done there. Alternatively, this is in landscape size 3 7/8 of an inch by 1.5 inches in terms of designer series paper. So what we'll do is we'll just stick this on to our little note card, which is the same as these ones that we've got here. Let me just move that over. so you can see them. Almost. Don't think I've allowed myself enough room. Here we go. Okay, so we're just going to stick this on. You can use any designer series paper if you want, whatever you like. I prefer this one. And I've just put it in the middle of the card. Now the card sizes are 3.5 by 6. So that's and scored at 3.5. So they're only tiny note cards, but they're perfect for Christmas. Perfect for Christmas. Okay. Next, what we've done is I've taken this die out of the Merriest Wishes, and I've cut out, using the black cardstock, this little guy here. Okay, which is like a silhouette, and that's exactly how we're going to be using him today. It's like a silhouette, and what it is when you've cut it out, it's actually completely round, the same shape as this. So you'll have this shape here. But what I've done is I've cut away the part that I don't want to use. So I have trimmed the sides and the ornament itself off. I don't want that part. I just want this to act as a silhouette onto my silver cardstock. Sorry, my silver glitter paper, so that it acts as a silhouette behind my neat and my sentiments per se. So that's basically what I have done to get this effect. Now I'm going to just stick. So for the backing, I've just used the size 2 circle and created a cardstock back. I've used the size 2 circle to cut out the glitter paper. I've used the size 2 circle along with the size 4 circle to cut this out, and I'll show you how I've done that, because it is a little bit tricky, but it's easily done. Get your stitched die, which is the largest circle, and then you get, which is not, what do we call it? Yeah, number 2. It's not the largest, it's the second largest. Number 2, and we've got number 4. I'm going to turn them over because I'm not doing myself any favors here. All right, number 2 and number 4. Now what I want you to do is to put these, center them completely. So make sure that they're even in the center. Get yourself some medical tape. Take a good trimming of it. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go straight down on top of it, and we're going to use that to die cut. Just be gentle with it. So you put this on top of your Whisper White cardstock. I would use the thickest that you've got available. I've done some here just to show you, some blank ones. And what you'll get is you'll get the small piece that comes out of here, which you can put away because I've used those for another project, which I'll be uploading shortly. And you'll end up with a piece that's like this. And this is the piece that you want, so that we can stamp our sentiment on it. So that is how you're going to achieve that particular look. It's quite easy when you know how. It just looks a little bit fiddly. And it's the same with this little guy here. He is a bit fiddly too. However, he works well. Okay, so the next part is getting your stamping. We'll do some stamping. Basically, I've used the Misty here. You can use a normal stamp set. There's no reason why you can't. So basically, actually I'll do a brand new one so you can see what I'm doing. So basically you've got your cutout, you're throwing out the middle piece because we're not using that. We're using this piece here, and we're going to line our stamp up just around the edges of the circle so that you can see the black hole in the middle. That's all you need to do. So it will be even. And then I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black. Nice and inked up. Just make sure your mat and your piece of cardstock is in place. I just partially stamped that, so we won't use that piece. And we're just going directly down. It doesn't look as even as I want it to be. And of course this does happen, doesn't it? Let me have a look. Okay, I'm just going to fix this little thing here using this one that I've partially stamped on, because I must have moved it and it wasn't quite lined up, so I don't want it to look silly. Okay, now that looks perfectly lined up now. Right, we'll try this again. Alright, take that one out. I'll just re-ink it. And then I shall pop it on there. Okay. Yep, that looks better. Just it looked like I must have done something wrong in my lining up. But anyway, oh, there you go. You can see my head in amongst all that. So there we go. And then you've got this gorgeous little round sentiment that you can put on top. And that's basically what it's going to look like, along with your stitched. Let me do. Why it never works? You know, when I practice, it always works. There we go. Or almost. Okay. We've got forever and a day, haven't we? Oh, come on. Yep, doesn't like me. Made up my mind. Whenever you try anything live, it's never going to work. So, you know, Murphy's Law. Let me just, one more try. Please, please, please. Because I'm not using a video camera, that's probably why. Yep. No. There, ooh, nearly. Anyway. You'll see it in the Photoshop. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Okay, so there you go. Oh, finally. Okay, and there's the, you can't quite see it, but oh yes, you can. Look, it's working. You can see the stitching as well. So it looks really nice. You'll see it in the photos anyway, because I've taken the photos and they're all up close. So basically, it will look nice. The cards turned out gorgeous, so there's no reason why, if you follow those instructions on the tutorial, that they won't be the same. So basically, as I said, we've trimmed this one down. By cutting off the sides and trimming it down. You won't see the bottom part of this. You'll only see the part that acts in the silhouette, which is here. So you want to move him around to make sure it's going to be, I'll just zoom in close so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So basically you want to move him around so you've got the nicest silhouette that you can get. Like I liked the antlers and the trees to be obvious in my original one. So I'm lining up my cutouts all together. This is just going to stick on with some Tombow glue underneath, and I want my antlers and my trees to be standing out so that they look really obvious in my silhouette, because I want it to look really silhouette-y. I used Tombow just for the sake of being able to move it this around once it's stuck on. If I'm not happy with it, I can just move it a little bit and it just adheres really well. So he's moved again, or is it just my imagination? Oh no. No, that's fine. So I'm just going to pop that down onto my stitch paper, nice and round. There we go. So then, basically, it's straightforward from here. All you do is add some dimensionals. And with those dimensionals, you're going to build it up because you want it to be tall on the back of it. You don't want it to be short. You can see that I've stamped something else on the back of it and I haven't wasted my cardstock. So I've used my dimensionals to stamp it up. Looks like there's just a little bit of a black piece hanging over there. There we go. So I'll just trim that up because you don't want that hanging up there. And then we're just centering this with that little bit of height that we've got. And we're going to add some diamantes. or rhinestones, whatever you want to call them, just to pretty it up a bit. There we go. And there you have it. So that's the tutorial for these gorgeous little cards. They make a great gift too, I think. But to be honest, I would probably use them on everybody's Christmas presents. So you've got this nice little card too from Merry Christmas. It's lovely and presentable. It looks really lovely once it's done. It's using the new stitched dies, which make it even prettier once it's finished. And I bet you it works. Oh, look, it works. And that's the finished product. Doesn't it look good? It's really good. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I will be back soon with another tutorial. Thanks for your patience, and thank you for watching. And we'll check. Sorry, I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.